making sure that they understand the psychology of someone who's aging.
Wow. Okay. All right. I wanted to ask you a question because I'm new to Georgia.
Okay.
Which neighborhoods are in your district?
So I live on they're so like funny about these districts, right? So I live in District 58. I live in Poncey-Highland. Once I
Oh,
go across the street, that's Virginia Highland, and then Atkins Park. But District 58 is super diverse. We have East Atlanta, some of Reynoldstown, some of Edgewood, some of Grant Park, some of Kirkwood, some of
mm,
Cabbagetown. We have Little Five Points, Fourth Ward, Emmett Park,
wow.
and they did a redistricting. So now we have People Street over there in the historic West End. I have some amazing friends that own homes over there. It's growing. And we'll get to the part where I want to make sure that the people that were living there for centuries can stay in their homes and they're not forced out by rising property taxes, which is the
Okay.
thing. But I would say that the people in the historic West End really do care about the people that have been living there, and they want to make sure that those residents are getting the tax cuts and, possibly capping those taxes over there. Because even though they're developing it out, they want to make sure that people can stay in their homes. Which I'm trying not to be all over the place about my answers, but it just came to
Yeah.
mind
Yeah.
because there's a guy over there named Brooks Payne. He really does care about the West End,
Okay.
and he's so concerned about, the people that have been there not being pushed out because though the value is going up, which is great, and they are kind of fixing the neighborhood up, but we want to make sure that our OG Atlanta people are staying in their homes. So Lee Street, which is a part of Oakland City, and then I know that they said there's another area that's been added, like Landrum Drive, which is Southwest. So the district is very diverse, historic, and it's a
Yes, it
growing
is.
community. And I'm honored to be, running to represent it and just living here is great because I actually have lived outside of living over here. I've
Hmm.
lived in Oakland City before. I've lived in the West End before, a long time ago when I first moved and trying to find my way here in Atlanta. Um, and I just love to see that it's growing. So it is a very diverse and historic growing community, and I'm excited about,
Oh,
this seat I'm running for.
okay. All right. All right. Nice. So now, question: since you've been in your communities and outside of communities, what have you learned from residents about biggest concerns?
Some of the key issues that I've heard about is housing affordability, and this comes from owners and renters. A lot
Okay.
of people are concerned about their health care. A lot of people are concerned about Medicaid expansion. Like I literally walk around almost every day. I've heard from people who, from their paychecks, insurance went from like $100+ a month to 500. I've heard from people whose insurance is up in the thousands. I've heard from elderly people that live around here in some of the nursing homes that their medication costs went up and some of them cannot afford it.
Mm,
But the biggest thing that I've heard a lot of these women say is about their health and reproductive care. Um, a lot of women have been talking about that because I think when people think about the law that was passed to ban abortions. They didn't think about the other side of it. They didn't think about how our doctors will be impacted. They didn't think about how women who have ectopic pregnancies will be affected. And I was affected directly last year. I had a situation where I had a rare pregnancy and I went like a month because
mm.
our doctors are afraid to remove the zygotes because they're just really small sometimes. But the doctors are really afraid to remove the aftermath of you having a miscarriage, or if the placenta
Wow.
is attached, or the baby's dying. They have to wait till the heart stops in some situations. And then we had the lady that was up at Emory. Her family lost their right to decide, and they had her as an incubator because at that point they decided that the baby was the patient, and her family
Oh,
didn't have choice to decide because of the heartbeat law. And a lot of women are upset about that law because we're all being affected directly. And I will say this, like, it was embarrassing because my body was trying to get rid of the baby. It was in my cervix, embedded in there. It had to be surgically removed. And I had to go to all these specialists for them to keep looking to try to
Mm.
just make sure. And eventually, after a month of just like being sad that I wasn't gonna have my last kid and and all that. And at the time the guy was with, we had a great relationship. So I thought we were gonna be,
Yeah.
expecting a kid. And just the sadness of like waiting and knowing that it wasn't in a viable place. And I was just going through all the complications of contractions and my body trying to reject it and just having to deal with the embarrassment of what that looks like for a woman on that table, through two, my primary, another specialist, and then going to Emory, and 3 4 people looking on one side of the screen and looking on another side, all because they're afraid they're going to lose their job or get in trouble. And then also
Wow.
just so they could make sure, but like care is being delayed. And I don't think that nobody should tell a woman what to do with her body. I'm not going to comment on the other side of that too much, but I know, like, from me personally, having an ectopic pregnancy in my cervix, which is rare
Mm.
and dangerous, and that delay in the delay in the care because of the law, a lot of women are very upset. And I don't think that families should not be able to choose. Um,
Yeah.
when it comes down to their own child, and a
Yeah.
mom's rights was taken away in that. So I'm grateful that they were able to get that baby here, but then that kid could have lots of complications going forward. So I'm praying for that family. But yeah, so those are some of the major issues that I hear people talking
Yeah.
about, even down to a young lady that said she doesn't even have insurance right now because insurance is just too expensive for her to afford. And I just advise her to find an income-based clinic to go to. We do have lots of money in the city for things like that. So me, I'm always trying to connect families with resources so
Yep.
that we're not going without. But we do need to make some changes to what's happening with home ownership, with the taxes, mortgage rates fluctuating. And as far as renters go, lots of discrimination is happening.
Oh
And I
yeah.
just signed my lease. I'm a renter, and my rent went up by $150. I'm now at $3,000 a month. And
Oh Lord.
these major companies are buying up all the properties here in Atlanta. And I know the amazing Andre Dickens is trying to combat that. And I would like to speak with him because I want to just kind of let him know like what renters are facing, discrimination in the application process, $400, $500, $600 application fees. And then there's no cap on how much they can raise your rent to.
Nope.
And so if you want to live in a fairly safe situation and have access to healthcare and grocery stores and all that, you do want to kind of live in a certain area because unfortunately, places like Campbellton Road do not have direct access to healthcare. I
Wow.
go over there a lot to do my community events. I don't see a dentist's office, a doctor's office. I don't see like walk-in clinics like we have over here in Virginia Highland. And I just want to, even though I'm not in those districts, I want to work with other legislators to make sure that we're connecting and putting in the work to make sure that our kids are getting an equal education, our teachers are being supported, making sure that families have direct access to dental, healthcare, physical, all the things that we need. So
Yes.
it's a lot of work to do. I don't, I could go on all night about those things. But those are some of the key issues that I've heard from people in my district, because I have been kind of going
Yeah.
around the entire district as much as I can and just trying to hear from people.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So this is a this is one of the concerns that I have. I'm renting too, and the lease, the far as in the lease, the how can I say this? There's parts in a lease. They making people sign leases that's so favorable to the owners. Like they're
Hmm.
really, you can't even complain about nothing because they could change the rules as they go. You understand? So I had at least one time when they said, um, at any time we could change we have the right to change the rules that you see before you sign it. So that right there is completely illegal. And I know that's
Yeah.
happening in a lot of the communities that we all live in. And I'm glad that you are someone that will combat and make sure that it's a fair, it's fair to us as renters. Because if we don't have nobody that familiar with our problems, this is just going to keep going on. So
Yeah,
I
this is
just want
true.
to thank you. I just want to thank you for actually running for this, because I rather someone trying to do something than just talk and not even trying. So congratulations on that. For real.
Thank you so much.
So, now, my question, what I wanted to ask you is, how would you describe your leadership skill style?
Um, I'm a listener. As far as my leadership style, I'm an effective communicator. I understand that effective communication can make a major difference in everything, no matter what that is, whether it's at work, at home, in public policy. Um, and I'm a listener. Honestly, I want to hear from people always. I want to understand a person's side, even if it's someone who doesn't truly like me or, care to understand my side of things. I'm the type of person that wants to understand and wants to listen. And I'm also a solution based person. And so for me, for example, if there's a law in place that I don't particularly care about, and I
Mhm.
know that there's no way to reverse that law, then I start looking for a solution. Like, how can I cater to the people that law is predominantly hurting? What
Mhm.
resources do we have in the city? Like, I'm always trying to find a solution. I'm a solution based person. And I just also feel like I'm not a woman that accepts no. Like, I always
Mm.
feel like that there is a way. And everything that I've done in my life, if someone's like, no, that can't happen, I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's a way for us to kind of meet in the middle,
Mhm.
so that we can make this happen. And so I'm a leader that listens. I'm a leader that's going to look from every angle of it. I'm going to try to understand the person that I'm in contact with, just to try to understand where they are coming from. I think by me studying psychology, I've learned that people have their own personal things going on. And so I don't take things so personal.
Right.
And I'm also not afraid to speak to people. Like, my grandmother always taught me to never be afraid of anyone. And I'm just not afraid of people. And so I don't care if they say, oh, like for example at work, oh, that resident is racist. He's going to call you the N word. I'm like, okay, whatever. I get in there. I use my communication skills. Didn't get called out of my name. Didn't get hit for the day. Because in healthcare, we do get beat up sometimes,
Oh
but
yeah.
didn't get hit or anything. But that person that everybody else claims is so hateful. Oh, thank you for coming in here. Thank you. Because people don't want to feel forced. People want you to listen. Sometimes you just have to listen to people. So again, I'm a listener. I'm a communicator, an effective communicator, and I'm a person that knows how to fight. Um, you knock me down, I'm going to get back up, and we're going to find another way. And
Hmm.
if there's something that's blocked and there's nothing I can do about it, I'll find a solution. I'm a solution based leader.
Right.
Definitely going to find a solution through research. I love
Right.
research, and I will find a way. So that's who I am as a leader.
There you go. Okay. Okay. Now, look, now that we got this show going, so we don't have no more technical difficulties. So far, so good. Now, for those who saw this young lady on my show, she was on the show in November. She was doing a clothes drive. She was doing so much. And the end of our conversation on this last show she was on, I said you should run for public office. And here we go. Some months later, she's come back to the show, and now she's running for state representative. So congratulations on that. Really,
Thank you so
congratulations.
much.
So, question: how will you work across party lines? Because that's hard.
All right. And listen, that's something that I feel in my heart because I've I've been to the state capitol.
Mhm.
And I've sat on the General Assembly floor, thanks to Park Cannon. She's allowed me to sit down on the floor and, kind of listen to bills being read and, how that works.
Yeah.
For me, I'll work with Democrats, Republicans, independents, because this isn't about like politics. It's about the people. And so when it comes down to it, it's like, if that bill is good for the state of Georgia, if that bill is going to help us as a whole, not just for District 58, but for the state of Georgia, like, I'm going to vote yes. And I know a lot of it is like, oh, we're Democratic. We want to just defend us and stay over here because the Republicans are doing this and doing that. And it's like, I just don't see how we would sit there and know a bill, turning into law would be good for all of us, and then just hit no because the Republicans don't want to hear our bills. And I believe that a lot of that is a lack of communication,
Mm.
not being afraid to talk to an independent or a Republican because they have said hate slurs about LGBTQ or hate slurs.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, we have to communicate across parties.
Hmm.
Um, but we don't have to be friends, and we don't have to respect the rest of the views that another person has. However, if there is public policy that's going to help all of us, let's just hear a person out. And maybe they had a terrible situation happen to them as a kid that has absolutely nothing to do with a group of people. Maybe you might be the change. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I could be the change in trying to get them to better understand our perspective and why Medicaid needs to be expanded, or why we need doulas for low income women, or why we need to lower and cap in taxes for people that have been in their homes for a very long
Mm.
time. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And how important it is for educators to receive the support they need, or get student loan forgiveness, or protecting our teachers, because some of our teachers are going through it. Like, some of our teachers are being attacked by students. Like,
Oh yeah.
all students aren't, some students are going through some terrible things at home. I feel like we need to increase our social workers. It's a lot. But anyways, to get back to the original part of it, getting
Mhm.
another person to understand whether they're Democratic, Republican, or independent, is super important to me. And I believe that effective communication is the way to do that. So I'm willing to communicate with anybody. That's my answer to that.
Okay. All right. If it's okay, if it's okay, someone, someone in the audience, her name is Aquarius Wood. She had a question, if you don't mind. She
Okay.
said that some HUD responsibilities need to be better code inspection because they are not for the tenants. Now,
Okay.
I get what she's trying to say. So basically, what's happening is, if, like, my community right now, the complex that I live in right now,
Hmm.
if it's completely just damaged, water damage, whatever it is, in New York, how they used to send inspectors. They send inspectors to the apartments and make sure all the codes is where they're supposed to be. And in New York, what happens is they will tell the tenant you have to put it your rent in escrow until everything is fixed. Now, when I moved down south, it's completely different. There is no real
Hmm.
code inspections for these apartments in Georgia or in Florida. And is that something that the representatives could talk to HUD about? Because it's really hard for the tenants to pay 14 to 1500 that can't really afford it, but have an apartment that's not even worth the value of that.
Okay. HUD. So I don't know a lot about HUD. I'm going to be transparent. I do go and make sure in my community work I give back to a lot of HUD properties.
Right.
So in regards to like HUD not being up to par in regards to being like a livable space,
Yes.
I think that filing a complaint is necessary. Contacting HUD, filing a complaint, emailing, sending photos, And then if you're not hearing back, go in person. If that's not changing, you do reach out to your local legislators, you do reach out to city council, you do reach out to your state representatives in your district, because those are the people that will help you to figure out what's happening, why it's happening, and why HUD is not doing what they're supposed to do.
Mm.
So you should reach out to your local officials, and then like I saw a young lady who reported it to the news. Sometimes you have to, take a step further and reach out for legal help. We have legal aid societies everywhere to deal with things like that, because everybody should live in a space that's clean, that's safe, that has every door, every window, that doesn't have black mold, because these are some of the things that we deal with, even with
Oh yeah.
renting. I lived in a space where I was like, I'm about to sue y'all. Like, there's mold here. And so
Exactly.
I know with like some of those properties, they're just old. Like, they are really old properties. I walked into a HUD property, the floor was sinking in. And I was like, what in the world? Um, and I was just like, what is, like, I cannot believe people are living like this.
Yeah.
But Andre Dickens, if that person's here in Atlanta, Andre Dickens is building out lots of new properties. Please try to keep up with what he's doing in regards to new places to live, income cap places and stuff like that. But just to get back to the original thing,
Yeah.
calling, going in person, reaching out to city council, reaching out to your state representatives. These are the people that should be helping you. You can call code enforcement. That's 311. Call code enforcement if it's causing you any sort of health issues, because black mold is very dangerous. Like, those
Yeah.
spores in your lungs. So yeah, like, reach out to your local officials, housing authority, HUD
Okay.
complaint line, code enforcement, legal aid. The Legal Aid Society will help you all the way through the door. I'm telling you, they will
Okay.
help you. And then if not, we have the local news. They love a good. I'm
Story.
not
Yeah.
advising that. They
But
really
I
do
know.
love a good story. But when it come down to me and my kids, because I protect my kids by all means, I would be calling calling
Yes.
local news. I'm telling you. But I
Okay.
just hope that that person can get the help they need through the Legal
Yeah.
Aid Society, HUD complaint line, housing authority, and just going in person and just not letting down, even though it shouldn't take all of that. HUD should come out and do the inspection, and if it's just not right, it should just be fixed.
There
Because
you
that is
go.
a
Exactly.
federal agent.
Yes. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. Yo, let me tell you something. First of all, I love the answer that you gave. I really do.
Thank
Hopefully,
you.
the young lady that asked the question can actually go through the resources and may have to call the
She
local
can email
news.
me.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Email her
Go to email me.
exactly. Okay, will do. So now, the question, I think you answered this already, but if people are listening, I just wanted to know, how could you assure people feel heard in government?
By continuing to go out to the community. Another way is I have a virtual link for Zooms that I would keep up so that I can hear from the people in and out of my district. Because I want to hear from everybody. People can email me. I'm really good at
Mhm.
responding. And then when a collective of people have an issue, addressing that, whether that be through another agency, because some things can get handled through other agencies. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just being the, just being that person that is readily available to find a solution to a problem. And
Mm.
just whether that's through me being a legislator, or again, our city council is amazing. Whether that issue have to go through them, whatever is happening, it just depends on what is happening. That dictates in what direction I go with, like, helping people and advocating for the community. But for the most part, just simply listening to everyone and always being in touch and making sure that I'm visiting my entire district, not just one part of it, so I can kind of keep up with what's going on with the community.
Okay. All right. There you go. Nice. So now, this is a very interesting question. I'm interested to hear your answer. So, what sets you apart from the other candidates?
Um, I think that the other candidates are amazing. Shout out to everybody who's running. I've already spoke with a few people and wish them the best of luck. I hope that we all have the core of our district and the state of Georgia on the forefront of our hearts. I'll just speak for myself. I have lived life and I've had plenty of experience. I know what it's like to be a renter. I know what it's like to use the housing authority for somewhere to live. I know what it's like to have children go through things. I know what it's like to, watch people that need help get the help they need. I have a lot of life experience. I'm not
Hmm.
going to come from a space where I'm green. I live with my parents and I've never rented, or I've never had to deal with the school being bad or not knowing my rights as a parent. Because I have had years of that, like turning into an attorney. Like I've, I've been so many different things, but I have life experience. I don't know about everybody else's story. Just like I went through the situation where I never thought that law would affect me personally, but it did. And so for me, I'm a person that have lived life and I've been through
Hmm.
things.
Mm.
And I also, when I moved to Atlanta and I left class one day and a little kid was asking me to work for me for money, it broke my heart because he was like 8. And I told him,
Mm.
like, Atlanta is bad with like trafficking and people will hurt you. I was like, son, don't ask people to do work. I said, just get what you need and go home. And every day around the same time when I would leave class, I would see him running down the street. And I thought to myself, like, let me like think about this. And I prayed, I did. And I wanted to help Atlanta. I wanted to help our youth. And I still am helping our youth. Like that new gun law that went into place last year, the terroristic threat law that reduced the age to 13, all those things matter to me. And even if I didn't have kids, I'm sure because I grew up in a Section 8 housing with my great grandparents and I saw how
Hmm.
gun violence plagued our neighborhoods and how drugs and everything kind of destroy families and people, I think that I still would be who I am with or without kids and I still would care. And so just me doing the nonprofit work, actually caring, actually putting my foot forth. If people Google me, they'll see that I've done the work. I'm doing the work. My nonprofit still is growing. Nonprofit
Hmm.
takes time. You have to be patient. And so for me, I just want to continue to do my work. I wish everybody the best. I have nothing to say about those other people that are running. I'm sure they'll get out and speak to people and give it all they got. But no matter who wins, I just hope that we keep this entire state and our district at like, the forefront and not, not be a unilateral thinker or just focus on what's important to you, but actually talk to the community and focus on what we need in our district and in the state of Georgia.
Okay. Right. Nice. So what I would like to do, like I said, this is interesting, and every answer that you gave was inspiring because I already know what you've done for your community, and the
Thank you.
people that know what you've done for those communities. This is way ahead of you're ahead of the of schedule is when it comes to someone that's running that we all could be familiar with. You've been through so much, so bringing that to the state representatives is a plus for us as a community. So again, congratulations on really giving it your all because people could sit here and talk about what's going on in government, but it takes a real person to really go in like you've done and continue to do. Even if you lose, you still have your nonprofit and you're still going to be continuing to run this nonprofit to help these communities. So again, I really respect you as a woman, as a candidate, and this is going to be great. It really is.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm definitely going to do the work.
Yeah,
You know, when you love people and you love what you do, nothing stops you from that.
it doesn't. It doesn't. It really doesn't. And again, I seen this coming. I don't know about nobody else, but I saw it coming. It's too much. She was doing so much. So now, how can District 58 residents get involved and share concerns?
Um, One, if people want to donate to my campaign, they're more than welcome to. Um, I feel like I don't want to raise a lot of money. I want to raise enough just to get the message out there. A lot of people have really huge um, budgets and stuff. I feel like by me actively being out here, I can get the message out. Just supporting me, but more so coming out with me, walking with me, talking to people about who I am and why I'm running. Um, and just telling a friend and spreading the word. And I tell people all the time, even if you're not in my district, look into who your state representative is. Shout out other state representatives that are from other districts, because at the end of the day, when we all sit down at that state capitol, we are the people that are creating the laws and approving the budget, and every state representative matters. And so looking into who their legislators are, who's running, posting those legislators, volunteering with those legislators, even if people donate $10, $15, like something is better than nothing when you want someone in, when you see somebody who really is going to fight for you, supporting that person, and just being present. So people can email me. I check my email every single morning. My email address is henderson4ga58 at Gmail. And I'll probably get a more official email, but I feel like Gmail is okay for now. And then
Uh-huh.
also visiting my website at henderson4ga58.org, reading a little bit more about who I am, why I'm running, what things I'm going to focus on. But for the most part, I'm going to focus on anything that's going to affect us negatively. And if I cannot change that law, we're going to find a solution through community resources. So, but that's how people can help me.
There you go. Exactly. Beautiful. Nice. Listen, this has been, like I said, it's been a learning experience. I'm looking forward to having more people, political people, come on my show, because there's a lot that the communities don't know. You understand? And we don't get a chance to question someone that's about to be in office. We don't get those. We would never get to get to know the person that's running. We just vote, and it's like you don't know them. You see what they saying on their pages, but to get to know them and come as a community and sit down and talk like we're doing right now, we are definitely voting for you. So you ain't got to worry about that. We're definitely going to be voting and endorsing you along your way. You actually, I think the election is on the 29th, the pre-election, I think it is.
So early voting starts April 27th. So
Uh,
time is of the essence, to be quite
yeah,
transparent.
yeah.
And I've been trying to put in the work to reach as many as people as possible. Although there's like 50,000 people in my district.
Mm,
And like I said, the easiest way is people telling a friend, telling a friend, telling a friend, reposting, coming out. There's power in numbers and in unity.
yeah.
Getting out, talking to people, and just spreading the word. And then another thing is primary is actually May the 19th.
19th. That's
Mhm.
May 19th. That's actually my anniversary. That's crazy. Mm,
Okay.
yeah.
So I want people to know what's happening. Also, a lot of people focus on November, when the governor is running. So they focus on those bigger elections. A lot of people didn't even know we were having a May the 19th election.
Nope.
Um, they were unaware because there's not much, media around that. Everybody's more so focused on who's going to be the governor. But most importantly, we are the people. If I win, I would be the person that would create laws, you know what I mean? Create bills that turn into laws if I can get them heard. um, and also approve the state's budget, which is super important. And so
Yes, it
anybody
is.
in those seats is super important. Each and every person on that floor is important, whether we like their views or not, because collectively, those are the people that create the laws that we have to live by in the state of Georgia. And those are the
Mm,
people who approve the budget, and expand the Medicaid, and put a cap on certain things. So those people are super important. And I want people to understand, these laws are either going to help our kids or hurt them. They're going to help us as workers, or hurt us. They're, you know what I mean? Like they can make or break us depending on who
Yeah.
we are, where we live, and what we stand for. So just want people to know that this election is coming up, and to just to support each and every legislator in those different districts. Do the research, look into it, and make sure that we're voting in the right people.
There you go. Exactly. But let me ask you a question. Would you? Okay, so I don't know. Do you know we have an actual radio broadcast along with this podcast? Did you know that?
No, I was not aware.
Yeah, 2111 Internet Radio is an actual 24-hour, 7 days a week broadcast with music. Would it be possible we could get an actual ad from you to put on radio so people can actually listen and hear because we actually are here in Georgia. So
Okay.
if get if you could get us some type of app for you talking about running and where people can go to vote and the district that you run in, we could possibly put that on our radio so people can actually hear it and possibly catch a couple of votes there. Would that work for you?
Yeah, thank you so much. I
You're
truly
welcome.
appreciate that. I'm excited and I'm honored. I promise you. I thank you so much. I really do. And I'll get that to you as fast as possible. I'll get with some of my audio people and we'll
Uh,
get that.
yeah.
If you send me over what you need, I'll get it done, I
Yes.
promise.
There you go. Exactly. Beautiful. So now I'm asking you a question. And this is outside of the realm. Um, are you a little nervous as far as in this? Because the closer it gets, because it's close, it's really close. Are you nervous or anxious in this process?
Um, I think more so just I don't know about nervous.
Hmm.
Uh more so just wanting to reach more people. I really want to reach a lot of people so they
I
can
know.
know who I am. And so just reaching people, I really want to reach people. I want to hear what people are going through. I'm actually excited. Like my thing is just excitement because I know me. Like no matter what, I'm
Hmm.
about to try to find a solution to a problem, whether I want
Hmm.
or not. Like that's just who I am. And
Yeah.
connecting with the community is a great thing. Because we working class people, we work a lot and we don't always get to meet people. So I'm actually excited. I'm excited to meet people, hear their perspectives. I've had some people to put me on the burner out here. They were frustrating with some hardcore questions. Um, I just feel like what God has for me, that's what it's going to be. So I'm not doubting my abilities to win. I just need to reach the people. But like I said, whoever wins, I'll be excited for them no matter what. Just hope they
Oh,
actually do what they say that they're going to do in their campaign.
there it
Um,
is.
just worry about, certain things that only interest them or the people
Yeah.
that they're part of that community. I want people to actually get in there and focus on public policy that helps the people, not get down there and try to prove that someone's funneling money through TADs or like all this other stuff that's, people speculate on, like really focus on the people. Because right now we need people in those
Mm.
seats that's going to lower and make our housing affordable, protecting our elderly people, protecting our children, public safety. Like we need people that's going to focus on fixing the ongoing issue that's happening right now, not anything else. Like all that stuff you can save it for off season, but on season we need to be in the game. We need to be in there communicating effectively. We need to be in there communicating with all the other legislators, and making sure that we're getting our bills heard so that we can try to make the changes that we need in the city. So that, yeah.
All right. Well, again, it's a pleasure having you up here again. It's refreshing when, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but I had a funny feeling interviewing the first time that this was coming about. I just felt it, and it's only right that a person that's been doing nonprofits for free, like listen to what I'm saying now. A lot of the stuff she's done, for her community is out of her heart. You understand? If you could get somebody in office like that, we'll be a better in a better place as a community. So everybody, y'all definitely need to go vote for this young lady because she making things happen and she's not just talking about it, she being about it. You understand? So congratulations on that. Yeah. So, any last words before I let you go? Because I still can't believe we went through what we went through in the beginning of this interview.
It's okay. Look, we won't be stopped. But I just want to say thank you so much. I want to thank you for the second time believing in me and having me and even being interested in what I had to say. I want to thank you for doing what you do because like communications is a major thing, like radio stations, the news, like all these different outlets is super important to getting messages out there. And so I thank you for what you do. I really do. And I want to thank all of your listeners because, without them, this wouldn't be possible. And so I
Right.
just want to thank the people that like were interested enough to get on here to listen. And
Exactly.
I thank you. I'm grateful. I appreciate you so much. And, I wish you nothing but expansion. And if there's anything that you feel like you would like for me to look into in regards to public policy that helps you
Oh yeah.
in what you do, I want you to reach out to me, email me, because I know some newspapers are getting cut and some kind of way they've tried to combat, certain styles of the broadcast. And
Right.
I want to hear about that from you because I want to hear from everybody. I
Okay.
that's what I do. I want to hear, and I want to try to find a solution.
Okay. All right. Definitely. Definitely. I will do that. So, okay, so you stay right there. You don't move. We're about to sign off. Aquarius Waters, she was one of the main people in this audience, and she got her answers from you. It was a beautiful segment. We wishing you well. Like again, we will definitely endorse this candidate for state representative. 2111 Radio will be endorsing. So, I mean, I don't. How will we go about that endorsing you as state representative?
I will look into that,
Yeah.
and I will send you the information.
Okay.
A lot of companies and stuff that endorse, they have their own logos and
Yeah.
wording and all of that. I want to make sure that we move proper. So I'll make sure that I get that all to
Yes.
you in
Yeah.
an email. And that way we
There
make
you
sure
go.
we're right.
Exactly. So, okay, everybody. Then again, like I said, thanks for coming through tonight. This has been very interesting, very enlightening, and a learning process. So, again, thanks again. We'll be signing off right now. Oh, who is they said thank you? Oh, Aquarius Reddis is right there. Thank you for the time and knowledge. Okay, there you go. Exactly. So you stay right there. Everybody else, we'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, now let's get up out of here.